Merry meet. Annie here, welcome back to Tarot Together. We have been exploring the attributes to the Fool's card, as I've experienced them, encouraging you to share your thoughts. We've journeyed through innocence, beginning and beginning again, the journey, change, acceptance, and the Godhead, mystery, wisdom. And this video is on the topic of spiritual evolution. This was probably my first relationship to the Fool card. I don't know that I thought of it at the time as spiritual evolution, but it was the energy that I picked up. And it was because of the body language, the pure bliss and joy and the feeling of abandon and release and freedom in the dance of the Fool at the edge of the abyss. Now I call it spiritual evolution because I've explored through the years all the possibilities of where that has taken, and continually, I hope, will take me as a human living experience this time around. Something makes that Fool, makes us dance through our lives. There's an animating force, an energy that, yes, it comes from within us, using our will, making our decisions, but there's some energy of life that moves through us, some animating force. The Fool is often given the powers of crazy wisdom. The Loki, Hekoya, that crazy Fool, giving completely over illogically to complete abandon. The Loki kind of energy. But there's so much to be gained from that. Spiritual evolution. I thought about the bag that he carries. We know in the next card, when he visits the magician, that he lays out upon the magician's table what's in the bag. The symbols to the elements. Now, it's said, and I've never actually spent the time to look at every single card to verify this, and it's according to the art done on different cards, that the Fool card is the only card that has the presence of every single physical element in it. Air, fire, water, and earth. And also with their symbols in the bag. Spiritual evolution then, at the level of elemental balancing, those of you who've taken the Seas of the Seeker course with me know how important that is to me. It's all there for the bringing in and the gathering and the making use of the transformation that comes from that. Spiritual evolution with the Fool about embracing mystery and not needing to know. The limitless sky. The indescribable possibility of expansion, the totality of existence that the card captures. Personal gnosis, of course. The experience of evolving through the experiences of our life, our personal experience. It's growth which isn't always appreciated while we are gaining it, experiencing it. It's something we sometimes understand later. It's spiritual evolution through the understanding of, if we look at expansion and limitless possibility, the consideration of the soul, the incarnated soul, rebirth, reincarnation, in a sense, immortality. Oh, if we don't go there spiritually, if it's not part of our spiritual path, there's always the immortality that we change when we're no longer here physically. And what we are physically becomes one with the world again. Therefore, incarnated again in a different way. Spiritual evolution in the sense of that leap, the what happens, and the great unknown the Fool is about to step into. It's very powerfully initiation and purification. In the leap, he becomes. In the book Spiritual Tarot, 78 Paths to Personal Development, Signe Eccles, Robert Mueller, and Sandra Thompson's book, They refer to spiritual evolution in the essence of the Fool's card as the limitless energy of spirit. That's that wide open vista, that far view that's part of the Fool's card. Spiritual evolution in the sense of the mystical, spiritual wonder and amazement, separation from the mundane. As soon as his feet leave the ground, he's disconnected himself from that kind of reality, and he stepped into a new kind of reality. He's often referred to. In fact, I think Waite actually referred to him as the soul in search of experience. In the Godhead, we talked about God in search of experience, but the soul of the Fool is also in search of experience. If we think of beginning and beginning again, the power of spiritual evolution in this card is the power of the phoenix. Every opportunity to begin and begin again, every journey has the leap at the end, which is the leap of transformation. It becomes a transpersonal experience, a taking in of everything with one in the middle of it and becoming something else. Its spiritual evolution is understanding one's true will. I think before he leaps, or perhaps in the process of his leap, he has a very pure vision of what he's leaping into. I don't think the journey to this point was about that. But there is a moment of clarity, even if that clarity is a moment of understanding, giving over, and what you're giving over to, and your relationship with that. And probably the most powerful part of spiritual evolution to me in the Fool card is the living of our lives, the mundane as the spiritual, with all its joys and sorrows and happiness and challenge, all the things we want to happen and don't want to happen, that we give into and that we resist, all equal a spiritual journey, a spiritual evolution. My thoughts on reversals when it comes to spiritual evolution and the Fool's card. Again, reversals I will always mention. Too much focus on an energy, not enough focus. Or focus meant to happen, maybe not in the current moment. Here's my thoughts on reversals for spiritual evolution taught within the Fool's card. We can feel that we aren't connected to a higher power, that we're disconnected from that. What if we looked at the body language of the Fool as turning his back on the spiritual sun, not having an understanding of the connection of his purest, highest will to something bigger than just himself, feeling disconnected from mystery, that it's all about the mundane and not about the meaning behind the mundane. What if this is yet another leap in his spiritual journey, grasping onto the next thing that comes along, tossing himself into the next chasm, disjointed spiritual experiences? What if he keeps doing this over and over again, this beginning and beginning again, because he just hasn't gotten it right yet? What if dancing at the edge, with no experience of trust in a higher purpose, fear enters the picture, fear of transformation, of death, or even of rebirth, what becomes from that, being unwilling to let go, being held back by the past. And what if spiritual evolution in a pendulum swing and an imbalance on the Fool's card is seeking spiritual confirmation from others, letting them tell you a spiritual story instead of experiencing it for yourself? What if you're stuck in a singular experience of living? Me, me, me. with no sense of the greater us. Me as a collective is something bigger than this singular experience. What if spiritual evolution out of balance because the fool's stuck in one element, one perspective or another? What if it's about lack of perspective? Certainly he needs to gain that and its wisdom in order for there to be higher purpose to his leap. What if he thinks every single thing along the way has a meaning, makes much ado about everything? Too busy making things important to be light enough to leap. And what if he represents in imbalance the uninitiated aspect of us? Fear of facing the past, acknowledging what brings us to the edge, freezing us from moving forward. Paradox there. The leap to escape it limits our spiritual evolution, as well as the frozen becoming one with the stones, standing at the edge of the chasm because we cannot acknowledge what brought us to that place. And what if he has been unwilling along the way to experience the spiritual power and purpose behind his living? And what if, at that very moment, as he hesitates, thinking about leaping, he holds doubt in his heart? There are my thoughts on spiritual evolution and the fool's wisdom, both when it is present, when it is too present, not present enough, or outside of its proper time. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Look forward to your comments below and on our Facebook group, linked next in this video. Mary Part.